Every killer in Dead by Daylight has their own unique and special Mori. Today we're putting them all up against each other on a tier list and seeing which killer has the best Mori. Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Let's jump on into this video of ranking every single killer's Mori. Starting off with the worst Mori in the game, in my opinion, is my main, the Trapper. I really feel bad putting Trapper in the bottom tier and in last place, but sadly the Trapper's Mori is just not that good. It definitely can use a 2022 update, and as of now it's a bit bland and boring. Compared to what they have on DBD Mobile, it is outstanding there, and I wish we had some updates to it where he can actually use his bear trap and kill the survivors with it. Sadly, we just have his standard slash in the back, and it's okay. Next on the list is the Wraith. Now, the Wraith is just like the Trapper, a very old school classical Mori. There's a little bit more going on with the Wraith, but him actually pulling you, so I can appreciate that a little bit more than the Trapper's Mori. However, it is still bland and a little bit boring, so for that reason, he is in the position that he is in. Carrying on forward, we have the Hillbilly. Now, Hillbilly of the three originals definitely has the better of the Mori utilizing that chainsaw, so for that reason, he is above them, but all in all, very much a bland Mori, and I'm not too much of a fan of it, sadly, but it is what it is. Hopefully in the future, we'll see something a little bit more unique for him. Moving on forward, we have the Pig. Now, the Pig could have had a really cool Mori with the reverse bear trap. Sadly, they didn't go along that route and they just went for that clean slash. Now, this is a shorter Mori and there's not too much to it. It's definitely better than the original three, but still lacking compared to all the other killers. And for that reason, she is in that spot. Moving on forward is Freddy. Now, Freddy, again, just like the Pig, has a very standard, simple, plain Mori. There's nothing too crazy or unique about it. Just a quick kill, stabs you straight through, and that's about it. Besides that, it's pretty much boring, so hopefully they can improve that one day as well. I look forward to seeing some of the licensed killers having really awesome Moris, especially compared to the ones that we've seen already, but Freddy is definitely a little bit lower on our list. Up next is the Plague, and Plague, I have her lower as well. I know some people might disagree with this, but hey, it's a tier list at the end of the day, so it's just my opinion. I find her Mori a bit weird. Obviously, she is a puking killer, but still, I never was a fan of the big puking stuff. It would have been cool if she had two separate Moris. Obviously, there is a little bit of a distinction when she is in her corrupt purge, but it would have been a lot cooler if she had two different ones. Sadly, she doesn't. It's very boring. She just vomits on you and then smacks you on the ground. And for that reason, she's in the position that she is in. Up next on our list is the Clown. Now, Clown is one of those killers that I also am not the biggest fan of the Mori. The stomp on the head is a little bit underwhelming, and then cutting out the fingers. Sure, there's a distinction between which character's finger he is cutting, but all in all, a little bit bland in my opinion as well. Definitely could have been something cooler with the bottles, and again, DBD Mobile has shown that, so it's not too bad, but it's very mediocre at that. Carrying on forward, we have the Blight, and Blight is definitely a little bit more interesting than everybody that we've seen thus far on the list. Again, it's a very quick Mori, nothing too fancy about it, although better than what we've had already on this list. So not too bad overall. I like the pus that grows out and then he smacks it down, but nothing super crazy or super sadistic. So for that reason, we put him in this spot. Next on the list is the Nurse, and Nurse was actually one of the original four, and she's higher on the list, and that's because I actually do like her Mori a little bit more. It's definitely up close and personal, which is a little bit different from most of the killers that are already on the list, but I like that. I like that she, you know, gets in your face and strangles you, and it makes a lot of sense according to her lore as well. So personally, I have this scaled higher on the tier list than some of the other killers, and I actually enjoy it. Moving on forward, we are going to the Doctor, and having that static ripping through your head is pretty intimidating. This is when things are getting a little bit more gruesome, and I think the Doctor definitely stands out above from the rest, and his Mori is definitely very, very sadistic. I like the Mori that the Doctor has, and the list just gets better from here, which moving on next to the Death Slinger. The Death Slinger goes and he basically grabs his weapon, shoots you into the sky, and it is really gruesome and grotesque. I really like this Mori. I think it's one of the better ones that it's in the game, and overall, they've done a good job with it. Next on the list is the Spirit, and Spirit is, again, one of those older killers whose Mori was actually done very well. Just slicing away at you while you're on the floor and then finishing it off with a good scream really shows her passion and her anger, and overall I think it's really awesome. You can see that she really is putting her all into it, and she really wants to take out her anger on you, showing her actual true spirit, her evil spirit, and I really do like that one. Up next on the list is the Legion. And Legion was one of the first Moris where we seen the survivor almost fighting back. I really like this one because it added in something brand new that we never seen before, and to this day it's still up there on my list of one of the better Moris in the game. I like that there's so much going on and a lot of movement in this Mori as well, where he's just stabbing you or whoever you're playing, and overall I think it's very fitting for them as well, putting them on the middle tier of our list, if you would say. Next on the list is Sadako, and she definitely has one of the newer Moris that's more interesting, of not actually holding you and breaking all your bones with telekinesis. However, I don't think it's better than the other killers that, really get into it. It's still a good Mori overall, nothing to take away from it, but just comparative to the list, I think she is below some of the other characters. Moving on forward, we have the Twins. And the Twins actually have two separate Moris, so it puts them a little bit higher on my list because of the distinction that you can get, and it's quite nice that you have two of them. You can alternate between using the one with or without Victor, and overall, while they are pretty alright, having two of them, in my opinion, puts them a little bit higher on this list. Carrying on forward is the Demogorgon. I do love the Demogorgon Mori. It would have been so cool if we could have seen them actually decapitate survivors. Sadly, we can't do that. But for what we have, it's pretty grotesque and pretty gruesome. It really shows its, animalistic behaviors, and I do enjoy it. I think it's really awesome, just munching on the survivors. Carrying on forward, speaking of munching on survivors, we got the Hag. And Hag's just munching on everybody. She pulls out all your organs, she pulls out your spleen, she munches on you. I think this is really good. Again, another grotesque one that's really, really disturbing, and I think it really does fit the case. Carrying on forward, we have Leatherface, and speaking of fitting the face, this one, again, is one of those that's just really brutal, having that chainsaw just going straight down your back and essentially splitting you in half, and then giving his victory chant at the end of it. I think it is super awesome. It would have been even more iconic if somehow he ripped off your face. I mean, hey, I'll take it though, because the more that we have is really, really awesome. Carrying on forward, we have Michael Myers, and this one to me is just iconic. I just really think it's awesome. That's why personally I have it so high up on the tier list, just grabbing you by your neck, shoving the knife in, and then going for seconds and shoving it in yet again. It is awesome. I really, really like this Mori, and I'm super, super happy they did it the way they did. Again, one of those older chapters, but they've done it right, and they obviously had a ton of inspiration, and I really do like that Mori. And Trickster has a really awesome and unique Mori as well. This one is really animated. There's a lot going on with all these knives just flying straight at you, and you're trying to dodge him, but it's too late with the final one landing in your head, and then he leaves his card on you and one drops down. All in all, a very animated and exciting Mori. I really am a fan of it, and I would love to see more Moris like that in the future. Next on the list is the Nemesis, and Nemesis is, a little bit more blunt with everything. He's just like getting you out the way, grabbing you, pulling you in, dropping you on the floor, and just crushing you, carrying on with his day. Very gruesome, very blunt, and I like this one. I like that it's so, in your face and just there. It's blunt. It's really aggressive, and I don't mind it whatsoever, and I have it high on this tier list, obviously, because it's Nemesis as well. A cool Mori overall, in my opinion. Next on the list is the Huntress, and I've always been a fan of the Huntress's Mori personally. This has been a Mori that I always rate very high because of how awesome it is. It really shows, again, how angry she is as a character. And, you know, when you think the Mori's over, she goes back and smacks you a couple more times. It's really awesome, and I'm just a big fan of it. You know, every time I see it, I'm like, oh, this is so good. I don't even want anything more with it. Like, I don't want her to toss an extra hatch or anything. I think this is beautiful the way it is. Next on the list is Wesker, and Wesker's Mori is similar to Legion, where, you know, you kind of get smacked in the face. There's a little bit of fighting going on, but, you know, he pushes you to the floor. He gets the power to essentially rip you apart, and then he puts the shades right back on. Very classy. I like this one as well. I like the interaction that you have with the survivor. It's pretty damn cool. And I'm looking forward to when this chapter is fully released because I want to perform this Mori on a few survivors. Next on the list is the Dredge, and Dredge is really cool as well. At first, it starts off a little bit slow where he's just, you know, doing the normal, you know, or I don't know what you really call it, but he's doing the normal thing, ripping you apart. He's doing the normal thing, just giving you a bunch of stabs, but it really ties together for me at the end when the two giant claws comes out, pulls you into the void essentially, and you're just gone. Unlike any other killer, you are gone. You're no longer there, and I think that's really awesome and really unique to have, and for that reason, that's where we're putting them on the list. Carrying on forward, we have Pyramid Head. Now, Pyramid Head obviously has two different Moris as well. One of the few killers to have two separate Moris. Overall, I think the Mori is beautiful and fantastic. I think that this is one of the best Moris in the game, and literally having the torment wrapping around you while you're being executed, as his name says, is just super awesome. The other Mori as well, where it's just a quick slash, is super clean, super professional, really iconic as well. I absolutely love it. Pyramid Head is definitely high on our list. Next up, we have the Oni, and going with that Yamaoka Rage again, pulling out your tongue and then smacking you to death is just gruesome, so gruesome, especially with the tongue pull. It is really, really awesome, and I am a huge fan of the Oni's Mori. I really do enjoy it. I think it's one of the best Moris in the game as well, and it's just amazing. I can't get enough of it, and I love running this Mori anytime I can. I know it sounds toxic, but the Mori is really, really awesome. Next on the list is the Artist, and the Artist, I feel like, has one of the newer, better Moris in the game. Artist is absolutely fantastic. Everything about it, especially what it connects to the lore and what it means, is great. The way she just jumps on top of you, having that new angle, slashes your face with all of this ink, and then the bird comes out of you. It's just fantastic. And then having all of the smaller crows being so iconic to DBD, just feasting on your body, I think is a well put together Mori. Everything about it is so good. It's so dynamic, and I really am a big fan of it. That, my friends, takes us to our top two Moris in the game. The next one is for the Cenobite, and I really like the Cenobite's Mori. The Cenobite has one of the coolest Moris in the game. Pulling your face apart with all of these little chains is super interesting. You know, they're just everywhere, and then you get sent into the Shadow Realm as well. Similarly to the Dredge, you are gone. You are out of here. One of the few killers to do so, and I think it's just super iconic, super awesome, and I really, really like it. The grabs with all the different pins is super cool too, and it's just so unique and so awesome. I really like it. And that takes us to our number one Mori. I hope I didn't forget anybody. If I did, you probably didn't have an important Mori, and that is Ghostface. I think Ghostface has the 100% the best Mori in the game. I will always say this because it's just so awesome, pulling out a little phone, and, you know, it makes sense for Ghostface to have it. The stabbing at the beginning, you know, is alright, but the phone really, or the camera, I should say, it used to be a phone. The camera just really draws it all together. It is awesome. Everyone's always jumping on in to, you know, photobomb the photo, and it's just amazing. Everybody loves this Mori. I don't know how you can't not like this Mori. And I remember when we seen this a long time ago of it being leaked into the game, everybody was losing their mind. So it is super awesome. Very different from all the killers that we've had. A little bit more of a comedic value, you could say. And I think it is just really, really awesome. All in all, that is where I rank every single killer's Mori on the list. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I think I got them all correct. And that is pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy my opinions on who I think has the best and the worst Mori. I think it's awesome. I hope you guys did enjoy. As always, I'm the king. I sound like a broken record saying everything is awesome and gruesome and grotesque, but it was really fun and interesting making a video like this. As always, I'm the king. I did my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the vlog.
Living life like a king. Gold on my neck, boy, gold on my rings. Crown got the tilt, I ain't worried about a ting here. Flow so new, but I'm acting like I've been here. Yeah, see, this what I've been doing since the drop. Fire on the arrow when I tell them all to knock. Once I get it going, ain't no way I'm gonna